Much like many other influencers or content creators or YouTubers, my husband and I are also participating in a low buy for 2024. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. In today's video, I want to share with you guys what we're going to be doing in 2024 to grab a better handle on our finances. So as we all know, I have been sharing finance related content for years. Over the years, we have paid off tens of thousands of debt. We have purchased a new car. We have bought a brand new home. We bought our first ever brand new vehicle, which was kind of insane, but we got such a good deal on it that Toyota made us an offer that we could not refuse. We have done a lot of things over the course of the years, but I do have to say that I feel like last year, and we also started our fire journey as well, but last year in 2023, we had a lot of unexpected expenses, and pretty much we just decided to throw away the year of 2023 and be as chaotic as possible for what we would then decide would be probably our last year, our last year of being not parents, because we're now in a place where we feel like we are actually ready to enter into parenthood. I know I've shared this many times before, but I do like to put an emphasis on it because just in life, as you get older, especially when you're married and you got this and you got that, and I guess people perceive that you should be in a position to want to become parents, I just not try to get ahead of it. I just like to be open and honest that yes, we do have plans of becoming parents, but we never had plans of doing so prior to when we were in our 30s. Now we are in prior to 30. Now we're in our 30s, and so I just like to be clear that we do want to become parents. We just know it's going to happen at some point during this decade, preferably before mid-30s. But yeah, so I have been sharing that with you guys, and we knew in 2023 that we definitely weren't going to be entering into parenthood or attempting to, so we just decided to be chaotic for all of 2023. We have no regrets. None whatsoever, because we paid all of our bills, we saved some money, we paid down some debt, we didn't ask anybody to pay our bills, no one had to pay our bills. I mean, we hosted friends and family members. One party that I threw, which was like a bachelorette wedding gift for my friend, was super expensive, and that's kind of where our money went. We basically spent it all on experiences. We have virtually nothing tangible to show for 2023. I'm laughing because quite literally, we probably bought a few different clothing pieces of clothes. My husband, I think, bought a few. I think I bought a few. I got an iPad mini, but that was free with credit card points. And short of that, we don't have any like major item or anything like that to kind of show for 2023. We quite literally blew through all of our money on experiences. And when I say blew through all of our money, I mean the money that we typically found a routine in saving or investing or putting towards debt. We kind of flipped it and we did the opposite. Instead of spending little and saving, investing, or putting towards debt a lot, we basically flipped it and we saved, invested, and put towards debt less than what we spent, which was unusual for us. But honestly, as we were like in the groove of it, it was amazing. And we didn't really take any trips for real. I think we went to a couple places, but we weren't traveling by any, really getting in there, traveling by any means. We went to family reunion and then a mini family reunion kind of thing, which I call a cousin's trip. And then I went at the beginning of the year to my best friend's birthday trip or whatever, which was 2 hours away from me. We didn't do a lot of traveling. We pretty much just spent it on hosting. We hosted like 10 different events here at our house. I can't even count. I know I'm giving you all sorts of different numbers. That's because I truly don't remember how many times we hosted, but we hosted basically almost every month. So it was a lot. But yeah, we don't have any regrets. We haven't learned a lesson necessarily. We just know that it's time to get back to what we know and love, which is not being as chaotic. So for 2024, I guess you could consider it a low buy year, but really it's just the budget that we've typically stuck to. So I'm gonna share that with you and share with you kind of like the rules and the guidelines of what we have going on. So it's no secret the amount of income that we bring in each month at minimum. I shared that and I've been sharing that for a long time. It doesn't really change unless YouTube is popping off and I get a lot of brand sponsorships, but otherwise via AdSense I earn pretty much the same amount each month. The income is pretty consistent as far as the side hustle income, unless I get some brand deals and such, which I normally get about one per month. So it kind of makes it consistent, but then they pay different rates. So it's, for all intents and purposes, pretty inconsistent. But for our budget, we want to just kind of sharing with you like where we want this to go. I already shared our January budget if you want to check out that, which is also going to serve as our budget for pretty much the whole 2024. But when you break it down, after paying for our bills and subscriptions and those things that we have to pay each month, because we do save up for our other bills and subscriptions that are not monthly via sinking funds. So after paying for all of our monthly bills and subscriptions, we have about half of our income left over. So our goal is to save $245, so about $250 each month via sinking funds, and then also to save $2,000 in our savings account. And then after that, that leaves shopping, which we are budgeting $1,200 for. So we really thrive on saving about $2,000 to $2,500 per month. We always don't have to save it. Sometimes we invest it, all of it. Sometimes we put it towards debt. It just kind of depends on where we are in the phase of our lives. But for the first half of this year, we would like to save the $2,000 towards this big expense that we have, because we don't want to, it's kind of like something that's essential that we get for our house, but we don't want to go into debt for it. So we're going to save up for it. And so then that leaves $1,200 for what we consider to be shopping. Now, shopping includes everything that we would need to spend money on in any given month that isn't captured by our sinking funds or by any of the money that we put towards our bills and subscriptions. So shopping would include gas for our cars, groceries, date nights, gifts for occasions such as people's birthdays and stuff like that, food for our dog. It includes any kind of fees like a parking fee or anything like that. It includes basically everything that we spend money on that, again, isn't better captured by sinking funds or the money that we put towards bills. So we're not doing a no buy, because what even is that? But we are doing a low buy. Again, this is pretty much the budget that we have often stuck to within our marriage. The only caveat that I have to mention is I feel like I would be remiss to not mention it, which is that we create our budget based on basically our bare minimum income and bare minimum expenses. If any major expense pops up, then we have to kind of recalibrate. If for some reason the brand sponsorships are popping in one month and we get a lot of money for that, then we can kind of recalibrate and we can save some of that additional income or invest it or put it towards debt, or we can just spend it on experiences and those types of things that we like spending our money on. But for all intents and purposes, we talked about where we want this $1,200 to go. And on a good month, we really only need to be spending about $1,200 on discretionary types of things, because it's pretty realistic and pretty reasonable, and I want to share with you why. So of the $1,200, we are budgeting each month that $500 of it goes to groceries. I will say we are pretty much a low carb, low sugar type of family, and so we do, I guess, buy foods that are a little bit higher quality. It's not like we're shopping at Whole Foods or anything, but we do have fresh fruits and vegetables and produce, and we don't, you know how some food is really inexpensive, like spaghetti noodles and pasta noodles and rice and stuff like that. We're not buying those types of things. So again, our meals pretty much consist of mainly fresh produce, like fruits and veggies and meats, proteins, and less starches and carbs and sugars. So if you do the math, that's about $125 per week, which is plenty. I just bought our groceries for the week yesterday on Monday, and it was about $98. And this is also going to include toiletries. We mainly buy floss, toothpaste, Paper towels sparingly. You know, I'm not a paper towel girly at all. Toilet paper, dishwashing detergent, and things like that. And honestly, to be honest, like I've said for a long time, my mother-in-law buys us a bunch of like little toiletry type things when she goes to Sam's or when she thinks of us. So we kind of get a lot of that stuff gifted to us, which shout out to her. The moral of the story is the $125 is pretty doable. So again, I already spent about $98 or $99, and that gives us about 26, 27 more to go for the week. So that I think would be good in case I need to run to the grocery store again for something. I have my produce for the week, but if we decide that there's a meal that we want to cook that we don't have the ingredients for, just because maybe we're like, ooh, we want to cook this tomorrow, but we didn't plan for it as part of our meal plan, then we can just go out and get the ingredients for that. So it's kind of leaving wiggle room for eating out. We have $200, which is about $100 every 2 weeks, or $50 every week. So I think that that is plenty. I feel like that's more than reasonable. Next up, we have our personal spending money. I get $150. My husband is getting $150. Again, this is based on our current spending habits, and how I want to use mine personally is this January is gonna be a little tricky because I want a pair of sneakers, which is rare, and these sneakers that I want are $100. So if I spend $100 on sneakers, I'll only have $50 left. So we will see how that goes. But I'm trying to be very strategic in how I spend my money. Next up, we have miscellaneous, which we have at $50. And then finally, we have gas for our cars at $150. I actually don't think we're going to spend $150, but we'll have to see, because before my husband became a coach, we definitely could do $150. But now that he's a coach and he picks up and drops off kids almost every day, and he is driving a hybrid vehicle, so that's good. And typically he only fills up once per month. But with this new stuff that he has going on, we think we need to budget a little bit more than what we typically would to account for the extra running around town or running across town that he's doing. So that's how we're planning to spend the $1,200. And I'm actually thinking, I am not right now a cash girly, so I don't think that's going to be the ministry for us. I actually order all of our groceries and have them delivered. When we go to eat out, we could do the whole cash thing. For my personal and my husband's personal, we could do the cash thing, but then I really don't use cash for anything. So I'm thinking of transferring $150 to each of our separate checking accounts that we just have. It doesn't have a lot of money in there, but I'm thinking of transferring $150 to 2 separate checking accounts, and then we can spend our money that way. So the one thing that I want to point out that I haven't pointed out is that we do plan to do a little traveling in 2024. As an example, I'm going home this month for my friend's birthday. Then we have both of our family reunions this summer, and then that's the only travel that we have planned. And there are some expenses like such that we actually aren't going to be saving for exactly each month. And that is because between the two of us, we get a number of bonuses per year, particularly retention bonuses. And so we're going to be using that money, not so much to put towards our financial goals, but simply just to save it and put it towards some of those random expenses. My husband's getting a bonus on Friday, and so we're gonna put some of that towards his college tuition. By some of it, I mean a good bit of it to pay for his, he's getting a master's degree, which we're paying cash for. And so his tuition, because he's only taken like 2 classes, isn't going to be the whole amount of the bonus. So we're going to put the amount needed towards his tuition, and then the rest of it I can use for my trip home. And we'll basically just repeat that cycle every time we get a bonus. Basically, if we stick to spending about $1,200 on shopping each month, or less, of course, and our bills stay about the same, and we don't add any new bills or debts or expenses, then each month we should be able to save or retain about $2,250 between the $250-ish for sinking funds and the $2,000 for savings. So that's kind of what our plan is for all of 2024. That should do the trick, only time will tell. We are trying to have some structure with our $1,200, because realistically, as long as we're sticking to only spending about $1,200 per month on shopping, we should be good to go. And so realistically, it doesn't matter how that $1,200 is distributed, but we did want to implement our old-fashioned, good old-fashioned parameters in hopes that that will help us stick to it. But I think we're good to go. We're pretty committed, and we definitely got to get that old thing back because we cannot have another repeat of 2023. Okay guys, so that is going to be it for this video. Wish us luck. I'm confident that we can do it. If you like this video, give it a like. Subscribe if you're new and if you're liking what you're seeing. And I will catch you guys right back here in a few days in a brand new video. Bye guys.